Hi, so welcome back. You've just been doing your beat, you've been practicing your beatboxing, and now you're going to look at writing your own rap. Okay, so I've been given the theme of home and place and my kind of feelings around that. And I'm currently in lockdown, and that was kind of the thing I wanted to be inspired about writing about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a rap that I've wrote over the past few days. We're going to break it down on how I went about it and also the tricks so that you can start doing your own raps. So basically, we're going to look at this the verse that I wrote. And why I did it this way is because it took me a whole day to write this. It wasn't a 10-minute thing. And I wanted to stress that with you guys, that this isn't going to be an instant thing when you're writing lyrics, particularly on a subject like this, on something as big as kind of isolation. And I found that really difficult to write about because it wasn't only just about such a big subject. I had a kind of strange place in it because I haven't really got a lot going on in terms of how useful I am in this situation. So that was quite a difficult subject to write about. So let's dive in and have a look at the lyrics. Here we are, and here we see is that I've kind of wrote, this is a section of the verse of the whole track. So I just wanted to kind of focus in on a smaller section, and I wanted to look at basically how I went about this. So the first thing I did was I just had a blank screen. You could just do the same, get a phone, get your laptop or get a piece of paper and just basically look at your subject, write it in the middle like a spider diagram, or just list the words that you are thinking of what are jumping out about that subject. So I can show you on here the ones that jumped out for me. The things that I had was adapt, solitude, feud, patience. So these were words that were instantly jumping out to me. But what I needed to do was I had a list of words, then I needed to rhyme with those words. So how I did that was I basically got a rhyming dictionary, and I used this specifically because I was trying to use newer words to rhyme with. Sometimes I try and avoid the kind of one-syllable words, free, be, and don't get me wrong, I use those all the time, but I wanted to push myself to use new words to rhyme with. So a word like solitude was a really good example. And I used the rhyme dictionary and I kind of looked at all the words that it suggested. You can do this online, or you can get a rhyme dictionary that's a book. And basically I looked at solitude, and then renewed popped up, and instantly that got me thinking about, well, what do we renew? And it was all of my kind of subjects and subscriptions that I was using, Netflix and all these things, systems in my life. And these were kind of working out, which are kind of a bit of a play because they're not really important things, are they? But in this situation, to me, they felt like a massive deal, which was kind of a play on the working out which subscriptions that I need renewed. So again, I kind of followed on with that. But as soon as I got those two lines, I started rapping them and hearing them out loud on top of the beat, trying to adapt to this solitude, working out which subscription that I need renewed. And then what I did was I wanted to immediately rhyme with subscription with prescribing. So it's a kind of half rhyme, but I put it in the beginning of my next bar. So what I did was working out which subscription that I need renewed, prescribing my attention. So I was kind of thinking about that kind of lack of attention that I had right now, doing the same thing over and over, and avoid the feud. So this was kind of where I was looking at that internal battle of being bored and all these kind of things. And then what I did was I just kind of started adding some of these words in that I'd wrote down, and basically filling out the gaps of telling this story. So the kind of bare bones of this are often the rhyming couplets, which I always put at the end of the line: solitude, renewed, feud, through. So as soon as I've got a rhyme word, I go on the next line. Even though I've left that renewed there, this would be on my phone usually or on my laptop, but it might not look like this on paper, but I always start a new line, and that helps me see where my bars are. So I've got two: renewed, prescribing my attention to avoid the feud. So then I kind of moved on to basically looking at the rest of the bar and just filling it out and kind of using these words of about creating these visions in my head. So selective and filtering out. So what I'd like you to do is just to start using those words and basically creating that list of rhyming couplets and then start populating it. That's what you as a rapper are going to do. You're going to tell this story of whatever you want to talk about. My theme was home and my place within it, but you can talk about anything and maybe challenge yourself to use this theme and just kind of basically you tell the story, filling out those rhymes before you get to that rhyming word. And then what you can do is you can start rapping it out loud and practicing it over a beat. And then once you're feeling happy with that, then you could start recording it on your laptop. You might have an inbuilt microphone you're using for gaming or something, or you might use, you might go to a studio, a local studio. There's lots of different options, but what you want to do is really be comfortable with this rap, and then you can go and record it. So once you get that opportunity to record it, you've said it over and over and you heard it out loud. And your voice might sound a little bit odd for the first time when you hear it back recorded, but the more you've said it out loud, the better your performance is going to be, and the better your flow and the confidence in your flow will be, because you'll need to make quite a lot of decisions about how you creating pauses and how you're creating your flow, basically, in your cadence. So basically try it and practice it and get used to saying it the same way over and over, okay? So I'm just going to give you it now, and then you can try and practice it and then write your own, okay? Trying to adapt to this solitude, working out which subscription that I need renewed, prescribing my attention to avoid the feud within my patience right before I'm through, just to feed the repetitions and the constant, become selective, filter out the inner nonsense. Am I busy enough to satisfy my conscience, trying to speculate a time that once was? Okay, so that was mine. You can hear it to the track on top of it. I've got a lot of more bars to go in there, and just basically I want to hear yours. So get writing and try and record it if you can. Thank you.
Trying to adapt to this solitude, working out which subscription that I need renewed, prescribing my attention, just avoid the feud within my patience right before I'm through, just to feed the repetitions and them constants, become selective, filter out the inner nonsense. Am I busy enough to satisfy my conscience, trying to speculate a time that once was? Enjoy the patient capabilities, facilitate expansion, don't become the liability. Cause right now who even knows what's the industry? When they're getting back they're all asking, did they miss me? Could you make a difference in a lockdown? Does it matter if your opinion's shot down? Even though you're stuck at home, it's easy to get lost now. It's hard to place yourself in this world, pressing play on the film to watch it all unfurl. Which chapter are we on? Cause this scene is kinda throwing me. This ain't no action film, cause I ain't doing out heroically. Maybe I'm planning just to sow the seed. What's moving, what direction, all unknowingly. Working out a schedule of activity. How's this ever really gonna go down in history? Stuck in one place, but it's easy to get lost now. Stuck in one place, but it's easy to get lost now. Stuck in one place, but it's easy to get lost now.